out of the mother city in Cape Town comes an audio platform that pushes boundaries, reaching beyond the horizon, where the values of Ubuntu and the spirit of Ubunye converge to shape futures that inspire. This is CPUT Live.
CPUT Live.
Welcome to CPUT Live. I'm your host, Nonhlanhla Mashabana, and this is the platform where student voices matter, real conversation takes center stage, and the stories shaping campus life are finally given the spotlight they deserve. Today's episode is filled with stories of creativity and resilience. In Campus Focus, we step into the world of fashion, where students bring style, culture, and bold self-expressions to the runway.
I feel like what inspires my fashion is basically just like being an intention behind what I wear and really wanting people to see the little detail.
In Student Spotlights, we talk to a young technology entrepreneur and innovator, Anamandla Zweni, about his journey from a township marked by poverty and violence to becoming a top 10 Grad Star Award winner, founder of Unium Technologies, and a rising leader in the tech industry.
Unium Technologies, basically what we're building right now, right, is an alternative credit scoring system, right, for small to medium enterprises. So what this means, right, is that right now, small to medium enterprises in South Africa are facing a huge funding gap, right? I think it's about 350 billion rands. That's a very huge gap.
In Explained, we unpack the various services that the Disability Unit offers. And oftentimes, these services remain unknown by the people who truly deserve it, the students.
We have a lab where we accommodate them during tests and exams. So they come here and use the lab as a separate venue. And then we also provide scribing for those students who are not able to write their own answers.
And in Beyond Campus, we reflect on the history beneath the District 6 campus and the memories that still live within the space today.
How I understand is that they were a very happy community. They lived very nice, but one way or another it wasn't enough for the apartheid government. They decided they were going to evict everyone from District 6 and start building universities and such.
These are the stories that inspire, inform, and also remind us what it truly means to be part of the CPUT family.
Your campus, your stories. CPUT Live, crafting futures with every conversation.
Fashion has always been more than clothing. Fashion is identity. It is confidence. It is storytelling without saying a word. And in this edition of Campus Focus, our reporter Eswana Nkompela unpacks how students turned the runway into a space of creativity, innovation, and self-expression at Fashion Revolution Week. They showcase designs that reflect both individuality and culture.
It is the 24th of April, a very big day for CPUT's fashion program. They are preparing for an annual event they call Fashion Revolution Week. Siviwa Jack, a lecturer in the department, shares why the initiative was started and what it means for fashion designers.
So as part of the CPUT community, we have an annual Fashion Revolution Week in our department. So this year we went on a campaign for Fashion Revolution to just educate people on it and just to get the message across why we have Fashion Revolution. So Fashion Revolution started in 2014 when a year after or on the anniversary of the incident that happened in Bangladesh where the Rana Plaza was a factory that housed a lot of fashion brands like international brands. We have them in South Africa as well. So they housed those brands, they were manufactured there. So the factory collapsed with about more than 1,000 people that died on that day. So that's why we need to have the awareness that as much as fashion looks beautiful and all of that, but who makes the clothes? What happens behind the scenes in the manufacturing spaces? Are the spaces that manufacture your clothes Are they good enough for the people that work there? Are the people paid enough? Are the environments safe for the people? Are the buildings safe? So that's the message that we want to get across.
The venue where the fashion revolution is taking place is beaming with life. Sewing machines make noise and rhythm. Fabrics move from hand to hand, and conversations overlap as aspiring fashion designers prepare for the show. They move between the sewing tables, adjusting and fixing details in their garments. These handcrafted pieces, made from recycled materials like plastic bottles and papers, started in a classroom and are now being seen by the world. Right in the crowd, there is Zezela Demon, a first-year student whose heart is beginning to grow fond of designing. Fashion was not her first choice when she applied, but being here, inside this space, she's starting to see what it means to be part of it.
At firstly, I wanted to do nursing, but then I didn't get into any university. So I took a gap year, and throughout that gap year, I discovered fashion styling. So I did that for a year. And then this year, I actually found out in January that I got in for designing. So then I did it just to better my skills, because I already have a certain fashion background, but just to know other elements of fashion as well. I just wanted to do that as well. So that's why I did fashion design.
Zizela says her approach to fashion is rooted in intention. For her, every outfit tells a story. As a result, Fashion Revolution Week has highlighted how even the most basic pieces of clothing can be transformed into something meaningful.
I feel like what inspires my fashion is basically just having there being an intention behind what I wear, and really wanting people to see the little details in what I put on. So yeah.
And they say that fashion designers sometimes take matters to their hands.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you feel like, no, I've been wearing this for too long. So what do you do?
So basically, what I'm someone this will all tune into. Last week we had the week before, I think, Fashion Revolution Week. So that was all about sustainability and that. And I didn't know a lot on sustainability, but I would say when you say we take matters into our own hands, if I wear this pants for 2 or 3 more days, then I will be okay, I need to style it differently. So then I will make literally something else out of it. So this jacket, if I wear it like this for the next 2 days, then the next day you will see I will wear it back to front. So then it creates another type of I didn't think you could style something like that. So I feel in that way it's also sustainability, because you're not frequently buying clothes every time. You take in the clothes that you have and you're okay, how can I make it look different, and how can I wear the clothes, not let the clothes wear me?
Fellow fashion design lecturer Katleho Mutubate works closely with students throughout the creative process by helping to develop the research skills needed to bring the ideas to life.
We're assisting them how to choose proper fabrics, how to focus on the theme, because it's important to always focus on the theme and follow it through with whatever materials that you decide to choose, and be able to deliver what is expected of you.
So there are some students who probably don't have a lot of background in fashion or anything that has to do with fashion design. So how do you make sure that they understand what you're teaching?
Well, we encourage students to usually do research, because that's the only time that their passion can be stirred up without us intervening. But if you come in with the passion, it's sort of easier to take you through the program and whatever that is happening within the fashion department and the modules.
As students dance and showcase their creations, the atmosphere becomes a powerful expression of what Fashion Revolution stands for. Each design tells a story, raising awareness about the people, processes, and choices behind the clothes we wear, inviting the audience to think differently about fashion and its impact on both people and the planet. What begins as a showcase becomes a call for reflection.
Student Spotlight, journalist Shikombiso Mawela speaks to Anamandla Zweni, a young technology entrepreneur, innovator, and a top 10 Great Star Award winner. His story is one of resilience, determination, and purpose.
At just 22 years old, Anamandla Zweni is already marking his mark as a young technology entrepreneur and innovator. He is one of the top 10 winners of 2025 Grand Star Awards and the founder of Eunium Technologies. His journey, however, began in township environment marked by poverty, substance abuse, and violence, where he realized that education could become a pathway towards a better future.
So the environments that I grew up in, I wouldn't say that it was exactly like conducive to the success of the people that live in there. It's your typical township, guys, like your typical township where it's poverty ridden. There is substance abuse, domestic violence all around, and even within our homes, like stuff like that. And also there was no resources for us to actually succeed. No library. The community center would be opened up but then closed again because lack of resources again. So it was kind of hard to keep young men such as myself from the street. Some of them kind of lost their way. It was circumstances like that. Drug abuse, gun violence, your typical township, And for me, when I looked around, I was like, I need to get out. I need to get out because I don't think I'm built for this life.
Survival became the foundation of his ambition. Escaping poverty was not just a dream, but a necessity.
Growing up, I did not have people to look up to and say, oh, I want to be like that person, around my area, in my vicinity, right? Didn't have that much exposure to those kind of people. The only thing that I had was people that I don't want to be like and circumstances that I don't want to be in. Né? So now I want to be that person,
Despite the challenges around him, his family remained his biggest source of support and motivation.
I didn't do it alone, right? Obviously, I had amazing support systems. Like my family, they've always believed in me. One thing about my family, because growing up, they used to call me, "Hey, bruv," "Hi, dog," They used to call me that, and I would always get that, "Hey, when are you gonna be successful one day?" Because I was that kid. I was a kid who, read a lot.
During high school, Anamandla became a part of a program called iGEMS. The program exposed him to leadership and opportunities he had never imagined before.
So there was this program called Incubating Great Engineering Minds. It's called it's iGEMS. We usually just call it iGEMS, but it stands for Incubating Great Engineering Minds, right? It's by Unity in Africa Foundation, and it works with a lot of like other engineering companies like your Continental, your S4 Integration, Tenet, Gendermark, so on and so forth, right? And also works with the local university, right, in Port Elizabeth. So the program really was for like, top achieving and also promising maths and science students, right? But it was more than just a maths and science program. It was also a program that would teach you leadership and like how to be an all-rounder, which is why I'm such an all-rounder standing here. It's because of these people.
After being selected as one of only 33 learners from more than 400 applicants, the opportunity became a turning point in his life.
When I made it into that program, that's when my world started opening up. That's when my goals and my dreams started like taking shape in a sense, right? Because what we got there, we had these leadership sessions where they would teach us how to, do visual boards, vision boards, yeah, and, set goals and all that other stuff, right? And also like plan our roadmap to what we want, see the bigger picture and then break those steps down into many milestones, like little milestones to get to where you want to be.
Alongside his studies, he began building Unium Technologies, a company focused on developing financial technology solutions for small businesses.
Unium Technologies, basically what we're building right now, right, is an alternative credit scoring system, right, for small to medium enterprises. So what this means, right, is that right now, small to medium enterprises in South Africa are facing a huge funding gap, right? I think it's about 350 billion rands. That's a very huge gap. The reason that this gap exists, right, upon research, I found out that many of these financial institutions, your traditional financial institutions, either be your bank or your micro lending institutions, they look at businesses, you know, how would I say, credibility, right, in a very static lens. It's not as dynamic. So it's how can I put this? I would say that they use 20th century methods, right, to vet these businesses and see whether or not they are credit worthy or they are trusted enough to be able to lend money to, right? And these methods would be looking at 3-year financially audited documentation, right? And also collateral, ne? And as we know, Tandy from down the street who has a spaza shop doesn't have that much collateral to go, to go with as, the application yack. And also they don't have formally audited financial documentation from the past 3 years. Yeah, well, and so the solution that we came with, right, is to look at all of the cash flow that happens in like the business. For example, Sis Tandy has been operating her spaza shop for 10 years now, and she's been selling out all the time with her stock and everything. But then she's in the unbanked sector. She's in the visible economy. She's not regarded as, credit worthy to, get funding. Yeah, but when she goes and applies for a loan on behalf of her business, right? But then she has been making money and she has been making smart decisions with her money because, her spaza shop is still standing after 10 years, right? So now what we're trying to do is build a platform that is going to look at that alternative data, her behavior with money.
As this journey progressed, recognition followed. What is your biggest flex?
I think my biggest flex to date has to be that I'm a grad star. That was a very defining moment in my career and in my academic career, right? And even personally, like it was a very defining moment because then, it's a moment of validation that all of the work that I've done is, it's worth it. These are the results, like observable, tangible results that I can see. Out of thousands and thousands of graduates in South Africa, right, that even entered for the Grad Star Awards, I made it to the top 10 somehow, which is great. Yeah. Yeah. So I would say that my biggest flex is that I'm a grad star. Like every chance I get, I will say it. I'm a grad star.
Beyond entrepreneurship and academics, he also works professionally in the tech industry as a junior web and automation engineer.
My job basically there is to, build websites, maintain the back end, and also, automate. That's in a nutshell, that's what I do. And as for the guest lecturer invitation at Eduvos, actually when I got I just got the message last week, guys. It was, I don't know, like it was a bit scary at first. It was a bit scary because I felt like, oh my goodness, I am out of my depth here. I don't know what to say. Should I agree to this? But then I realized that this is a testament to my hard work. So I should, take in this moment and actually do this thing because also, again, it's going to be a very defining moment in my career.
With all these achievements, he still struggles with heavy imposter syndrome, and there are days he feels completely demotivated.
Actually is a very, very hard mental battle to fight because when people look at when you look at my resume and you look at my, LinkedIn, or like my, my presence online, when you Google me, yeah, it's true, guys, you can Google me. It's like, but when you Google me, you see, all of these accelerated achievements. You see a junior web and automation engineer. You see a founder and CEO, and you think, oh, this looks all pretty, but behind the scenes, it's a lot of self-doubt. It's a lot of imposter syndrome.
However, he constantly reminds himself that he must fight to get to the finishing line.
I look back at what I've achieved, right, and where I've come from and where I am currently, right, and then constantly remind myself that, hey, my angel, it is not by chance that you are here. It's not just something that you stumbled on. It's actually built upon years and years of hard work, ne? And just because you didn't get a head start doesn't mean that you don't belong. What means is that you actually do belong. Like, it means more than that, actually, because you've done all of this hard work and look at where you are. You're always the youngest in the room.
You have a guitar too. Mm-hmm. You write songs, you sing. Your voice is so golden, I must say. So I'm burning of curiosity. Could you please tell us about your creativity? I mean, creative interest and hobbies, like your personal life. Like, what do you do for fun?
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, I'm not only just, your tech bro, I'm not just a tech bro, there's a lot of other stuff that I do, not just academics. Creative interests, as you said, play guitar, I write songs and I sing. In your loving space, in your loving space. My heart unravels at the seams at the sight of your smile. It feels like home. Oh, my love, you're the melody that feels my...
Lastly, like when you look back from where you come from, mm-hmm. and when you look at baby Anamandla.
She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies.
How proud are you?
I'm actually so... Sometimes I look at a baby picture of myself and I cry. Because, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Because I know, like, 10-year-old me or 11-year-old me, even earlier, 8-year-old me, if you would go there and tell him and say, Ngamamela, in the future, this is you, this is what you've done. Like, literally, I would be beaming with joy and I'd be jumping up and down. Like, yeah, for me, every time when I look back at, baby me, I feel, very emotional because I'm like, oh my God. I'm healing my inner child by making all of his dreams come true. But yeah, it's a very emotional experience, honestly. She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard.
University life can be very challenging. And for many students, access and inclusion can shape their entire academic experience. But creating a supportive campus means ensuring that every student has the opportunity to learn, participate, and succeed without barriers. In this edition of Explained, our journalist Kawe Mlando takes a closer look at the disability unit. We dive deep into the role it plays, the support it offers, and why accessibility should never be treated as an afterthought.
Students come to CPUT from different walks of life, each with unique strengths and challenges. Among these students are those living with disabilities. They navigate campus life with resilience while also facing barriers that are not always visible. The Disability Unit Services is a vital support system within the institution located at the D6 campus in the Administration Building, Room 2.90. Their goal is to create a more inclusive and accessible learning environment. The administrator, Delisha Davo, explains their main role and the support services they provide for students.
The main role of the Disability Unit is to provide support services to students with disabilities, students with special needs, and the lecturers working with those students. So we assist students from before they even start at CPUT sometimes. They would come and inquire about courses to do. They would inquire about the services that we have for students with disabilities. So we would then assist them to make sure that they meet the minimum requirements, that they apply for the correct course. And then once they are registered, we assist them with applying for exam concessions. We liaise with the lecturers and with other support units like student counseling or the clinic. Then we have a lab where we accommodate them during tests and exams. So they come here and use the lab as a separate venue. And then we also provide scribing for those students who are not able to write their own answers. I mean, they give their own answers. They're just not able to write it down on paper. So then somebody scribes for them. And then we also have what we call a resource center, where we have assistive devices and software programs that we lend out to students.
Delisha continues to explain how they identify each student's disability and where students can report discrimination and accessibility issues.
With each individual student, we have an interview. And sometimes it would be with the student and their parents, and sometimes it's just the student. And then we also always ask for medical documentation to confirm the diagnosis of the disability. At the disability unit, that is for when it's happening in class, and also in the residences, and we would then take those matters up with the lecturers or HODs, and in the case of residents, we would then also speak to the res parents. So with the lecturers, in most cases, they are not familiar with how to adjust their lessons to accommodate students with varying needs. So we introduce them to the universal design for learning, and then we help them to understand different students might need different ways of taking on information. And so then the output would also be different.
The unit spreads awareness in various ways. The language capture, Maliboho Maduva, adds to what Delisha says on how they ensure that students are aware of them and the assistance they can provide.
The programs depend probably based on month-to-month basis, depending on which month, maybe probably focusing on which impairment. And also the big one, obviously, is the November month, which is our National Disability Awareness Month, which surely we ensure that we are sort of like visible for everyone in terms of like the community of the CPUT, to make them aware that this is like the National Disability Awareness Month. For instance, we run a newsflash, and also we do exhibition through our offices to ensure that we're running those kind of awareness. Also, we do have champions, diversity champions, where they come with their own programs to raise awareness through campus. For instance, we have discovered that peer-to-peer awareness campaigns are more likely productive than maybe us as a unit when we're running those kind of campaigns.
The Disability Unit is more than just a service. It is part of what makes campus feel like a place for everyone. Many students continue to excel academically as well as personally, proving that determination and support can go a long way. If you are a student at CPUT and would like to get in touch with the Disability Unit for support or more information, contact 021 460 9071 or 021 460 9070. You can also request an appointment on Disability Unit at cput.ac.za. In case of an emergency, contact Delisha at 083 702 7994.
For many students, campus is simply a place of lectures, assignments, and chasing deadlines. But some campuses, like CPUT's District 6, carry histories far deeper than what we see every day. It stands on land marked by forced removals, loss, and displacement. It is a painful chapter in South Africa's history that still echoes through the streets of Cape Town today. This story was shortlisted as part of a second-year media production assignment in the journalism program.
Originally known as Canaldorp, District 6 was declared as the 6th municipal district of Cape Town in 1867. Its inhabitants included freed slaves, laborers, merchants, artisans, and immigrants. The diverse and lively community of 55,000 people was filled with laughter, music, and unity. District 6 was often described as the soul of Cape Town. We talked to people with intimate knowledge of how District 6 used to be. Phoebe Thompson, a clinic supervisor at the CPT District 6 campus, recalls the once vibrant life in the area.
Sy dogter het my altyd vir my stories vertel van hoe dit gespook het in District 6 het.
As a little girl, my mother always told me stories about how haunted District 6 was. Part of the stories was that there were people from different races that lived in District 6. So my grandpa did a lot of trading with these people. My grandpa sold wine, and then there was another man who was a fruit vendor. So they would exchange goods. Another person maybe owned a shop, and that's how they traded among themselves. She told that they didn't need anything when they lived in District 6. Everything they had in abundance, and that they lived a peaceful life.
Sy nou sit in terugdink het hulle ook maar 'n vreedsame lewe gelewe.
Thus thriving cosmopolitan life genuinely threatened the ideals of apartheid government, which leaned onto segregation and discriminatory policies. It would soon impose the Group Areas Act in 1950, effectively empowering the state to declare any areas as a white only. Annie Smith, another cleaning supervisor on campus, has vivid memories of District 6.
Soos ek verstaan was hulle baie gelukkige community.
How I understand is that they were a very happy community. They lived very nice, but one way or another it wasn't enough for the apartheid government. They decided they were going to evict everyone from District 6 and start building universities and such.
Universiteite en so aan.
Then came the Friday of 11th February 1966. Over 60,000 people were forcibly evicted. Families would have to watch their homes get bulldozed. These removals not only destroyed houses, but the soul of Cape Town. For many people like Annie and Phoebe, these evictions still haunt them.
Van die mense was nog besig om te eet aan hulle supper tables en hulle was sommer net gesê, kom uit.
Some people were still busy eating at their supper tables, and they were just told to get out. Bulldozers just came and destroyed the homes in front of them, which I think is just very, very sad. I just think it is very inhumane. My mother was 16 years old with the removal of the Group Areas Act. They were removed from Cape Town and they were relocated to Manenberg, the Cape Flats.
Today, CPT's District 6 campus is part of the nuanced and complex history. Much like the area, the campus grounds have witnessed the pain of these evictions and the evolving story of the area. In fact, some parts of the campus were once Phoebe's home.
So, my oma in Opart gebly in 'n pad met die naam van Eestraat.
So my grandma and grandpa lived in the street called A Street. A Street was where the now undercover parking of CPUT is.
No undercover parking is van CPUT.
In 2018, as an act of acknowledgement to the historical trauma, CPT leadership officially renamed what was once the so-called Cape Town campus to District 6 campus. When a whole community is torn apart, the memories doesn't just disappear. It lives in the stories, in the streets, and in the grounds that hold the weight of what happened.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of CPUT Live. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and stay connected for more stories that reflect student life honestly, creatively, and unapologetically. This episode is hosted and produced by me. The fashion show story on Campus Focus was written and narrated by Esona Nkompela. The student spotlight feature on Anamandla Zweni was written and narrated by Shikombiso Mawela. For Explained, the disability unit story was written and narrated by Kawe Mlandu. And lastly, for Beyond Campus, the story of forced removals and displacement was narrated by Layli Dirks and produced with Keisha Lee Opperman, Chandra Hartnick, and our commissioning editor, Kaylee Fannykerk. Sound assembling and engineering was done by our executive producer, Magnificent Mdebele. Our script editor is Tyler Abrahams, chief script editor Owentando Zansi, and fact-checking is done by Kamva Kakula. Our other commissioning editors are Somele Zendete and Sinawo Jack. From all of us here at CPUT Live, thank you for listening. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep telling stories that matter. Until next time, goodbye.
Your campus, your stories. CPUT Live, crafting futures with every conversation.